Hello ladies and gents, welcome to another video. Something a little bit different for the channel today. I'm going to be working on an Acer Aspire 3, which is a laptop which I bought off eBay for £56.99. That was £46.99 plus £10 postage, and apparently this has got a power issue. So for many of you regular viewers to the channel, you'll know that I don't normally work on laptops, but I have been doing a lot of laptops recently. And some of those laptops include things like MacBooks and things like that. So I've been buying a lot of things on eBay where I've been basically spending a lot of money on faulty items and then trying to fix them for content, just to kind of mix it up a little bit and bring a fresh new vibe to the channel. So I'm going to be working on this laptop today, and according to the eBay listing, it's got a power issue where the charger light will come on but nothing shows up on the screen. And as soon as you disconnect the charger, the battery goes off, or rather the light goes off, and it goes completely dead again. So going to be rather interesting to see what's going on with this one. I've got a feeling it's at least got a faulty battery, but it's probably got other faults as well. So that being said, we are going to get into this repair, but if you are new to the channel and you want to see more of this type of content, then number one, please get subscribed and turn on the bell notifications. That way you don't miss any future videos. And if you do want to support me in these little endeavours, if you want to help me to pay for some of this stuff, then you can head over to Twitch. And if you've got an Amazon Prime account, you can become a Prime subscriber on Twitch. It gives me around about $2.50 every month from Twitch. It takes it straight out of Jeff Bezos' pocket, which is great, but it doesn't cost you a penny to do it. So it really does help out the channel, and it also helps me to buy cool merch like this from my mate Vince, or this from my mate Vince. So cheers Vince, I'm going to enjoy a nice cup of coffee and get this laptop fixed, hopefully. Today's video is proudly sponsored by PCBWeight.com. PCBWeight is the industry leader in custom printed circuit boards, flexible printed circuit boards, and even CNC and 3D printing. Right now you can get 10% off all CNC and 3D printing and $5 off your first order for custom and flexible printed circuit boards. Personally, I've used PCBWeight myself, and I have to say that the level of service is second to none. The order process was quick and simple, and turnaround time was literally 2 days. From personal experience as a beginner, the whole process was super quick and easy to understand. Simply upload the Gerber files and you're off to the races. Being in the industry for over 8 years, PCBWeight definitely have the experience to deliver fast, high quality PCBs to get your next project started. PCBWeight are also looking for new writers to join their creative team, and with rewards from $20 to $100, it can be quite tempting. Simply head over to the links in the video description to learn more. Now back to the video. Okay, so as we can see, this is the description here. We've got Acer Aspire 3, faulty spares repairs, blah blah blah. Power is on but nothing displays, no charger or original box included, no returns. Okay, well, £46.99, £10 postage, and it's from a seller called ECL Spares. The description says, faulty, laptop power is on, indicator light comes on, but nothing displays on the screen. Screen is scratched and the laptop goes off when the adapter is removed. No charger or original box included, no returns or warranty. 15.6 inch Ryzen 3, no RAM or hard drive. Okay, so that's going to be interesting. So let's get the coffee out of the way. Those My Mate Vince mugs really do make coffee taste better. Talking of merch, we also have merch on this channel as well, so there'll be a link in the video description to that if you want to check that out. Maybe buy a mug and support the channel that way. So this is a Ryzen 3. I don't know what spec it's meant to be, but it does say in the listing that the RAM and hard drive have been removed. So yeah, I'm not even sure what these are worth, to be honest. It does say the screen is scratched, and yeah, I'm not really seeing any scratches on the screen. Maybe a couple of little scuffs on the side, but you can't really see those when, you know, the laptop's on and stuff like that. It's very light scratches, and I'll probably just, you know, either resell this cheap or give it to one of my kids or something. But apparently the RAM has been removed and there's no hard drive as well. So what I'm going to do, number one, I'm just going to double check all of that and just make sure that the listing description is accurate. And then number two, we're going to try and power it on. I'm going to need to power it on with my bench power supply because I don't have an Acer charger. So I will need to power this on with my bench power supply, but I will show you how I'm going to do that. I'm also going to be testing this grey mat which turned up today. It's an ESD mat, but you know, I'm not sure whether they're any good or not. I think I paid about £15 off of AliExpress for it, so not a bad price for the size of the mat as well. But yeah, let's just basically get some of these covers off, and I think I'm going to take the base off as well, because that way then I can use my bench power supply just to hook up a couple of test leads to the power. So I'm just going to go around and just basically unscrew the screws from the housing, trying to remember where they go as I go along. So I'll fast forward through this a little bit. Alright, so there's all of the screws removed. So let's just try and get this thing, well, disassembled a little bit so as we can get into it. Okay, so we've got no RAM, that's fine. Ryzen 3, I think that's going to be DDR4. And yep, no hard drive, but at least the CAD is there. There we go. So what I mean by CAD is just, this is where the hard drive would go. So you'd screw the hard drive into the side, and then you'd screw the top over here just to hold it in place. I would have to find some laptop screws though. So now I've just got to figure out how to get this base off, because like I said, I do want to just see what happens when I attempt to power it on. But I don't have a charger. I would have to buy one. I don't generally buy a charger for the device until I know that it's working, because I don't really want to waste more money than necessary. Okay, that's broken. Literally haven't even touched that. Where's that come from? Did that come from one of the plastic covers? I'm not actually sure. Oh, it's come off here. That wasn't in the listing, and that wasn't me either. I might be able to glue that back down. Don't think there's a lot I'm going to be able to do. This looks like it's been dropped at some point. I've just taken this out of the box. Alright, so before I do anything, one important thing that I always do with laptops when they report no power is I will double check the DC jack and just see if we get any kind of short circuit on the DC jack. So the first important thing is to take out the battery. We don't want to leave any kind of power going in. Actually, let's test the battery. Let's see what power we've got on the battery. Let's see if it's just completely dead or what. So I am in voltage mode on the multimeter here. And we're getting nothing at all. It's not shorted, but we're getting 16 millivolts, so that is very dead. Okay, so it does look like it's not charging a battery. Alright, so let's go into diode mode, and I'm going to be making a separate video for my second channel on diode mode as well, because there's been a few interesting questions come up about it recently. So I think I should make a separate video and explain what diode mode is. So when I do, I'll leave a comment in this video description just to let people know that it's live. So what we've got here, we've got I think a WLAN card here. It looks like it might be the wrong one. Not sure, because this has definitely been messed with. Look, this wouldn't have come from the factory like this as well. So yeah, it's also got space for an M.2, which is nice. Don't know if that's going to make a difference, but you know. So if I go into diode mode, that's going to be the mode with the little diode symbol, and just test with red probe on ground. And like I said, I am going to be making a video on this. Black probe on the input side of the DC jack. We get open line. That's kind of strange. Do we get any resistance? Probably not. We get open line on that connector. So that's rather weird. Okay. Yeah, not sure I'm supposed to get open line there. Alright. So what I'm going to do then, see, I don't really work on laptops, so that's why I chose this cup for this repair, because it says, remember, I'm not an expert. Thanks, Vince, because it fits well with this video. So, I'm not an expert with laptops. I don't think we're meant to get open line on that, though. So, that's quite strange straight away. But, what I am going to do, I have got some experience with laptops. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to have a look on the base here and see what kind of input we need. So, we need 19 volts at 2.37 amps for charging. So, I'm going to set my bench power supply up to 19 volts. Actually, I'm going to start off at 1 volt just in case we do have some sort of a weird short. So, I don't think we do because it's coming up open line, but I'm just going to inject 1 volt in there. And it might help if I actually turned my bench supply on. And nope, we get no current draw at 1 volt, that's fine. So, I've got my bench power supply set at 19 volts now. And I do get an initial sequence of 4 milliamps. So we do get 4 milliamps. Let's see if it does attempt to at least power on. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just pop one of my probes inside one of these ports here just to permanently ground it. And what that will allow me to do is free up one of my hands. It saves me just soldering the wire onto the board. But it frees up one of my hands and allows me to use the other hand to inject voltage with a positive lead. And the other hand I can use to turn on the device. So I'm just going to figure out where the power button is. It's just in this corner. It's not going to boot up with no RAM. Okay, it is attempting to power on. In fact, it is turning on. We're getting 600 milliamps of current draw. And then it turns off. The light does stay on. 600 milliamps again. Looks like it is in a power cycle at the minute. Yeah, so it looks like it's just boot looping. I'm not sure if that's normal because of the fact that we've got no RAM in there. It could very well be. But it is going up to 600 milliamps and then dropping. And it would appear that the board is sort of working. So I've just plugged the battery in and I just want to see if it attempts to charge a battery. And it would appear not. So my initial thought here is it could very well be a case where the battery is in sort of a deep sleep mode. And we do appear to be getting some signs of life. So it has gone up to 60 milliamps. Sorry, no, 6 milliamps. From 0.006 milliamps. But it wouldn't appear as though we're actually charging. I think the next stage is going to be to just get some RAM. So I'm going to find some RAM for this. I'm going to find out what RAM it requires. And then I will find the appropriate RAM. Okay, according to the spec sheet for the laptop, the CPU in this is a AMD Ryzen 3 2200U APU, and basically that is DDR4 dual channel memory, which I do have. So I've grabbed myself a couple of things. So I'm not going to be using that one. That's a 16GB stick. But I do have here a 8GB stick of DDR4 memory. So I'm going to pop that in. This is out of my own laptop, so I know it works. Let's pop it in that top slot there. And okay, that's interesting. It doesn't lock in. That could potentially be an issue when it comes to booting up. I also have, just in case, I've got a 256 gig SSD here. So I'll pop that on there. And then I'm going to provide it with the 19 volts that it requires. And don't worry about the fact that the laptop was plugged into the battery, because the battery is pretty much kaput. So I'm going to attempt to power this on. I've got the laptop grounded. I'm going to attempt to power it on by injecting 19 volts and pressing on the power button. And we're getting 800, 1.4 amps. I saw an initial burst of 1. Oh, whoa, okay. Ha. Ooh, screen flickers. Ooh, pretty bad screen flickers. And that's just revived the battery as well. That battery is now alive. However, that's got some pretty bad glitches there. Not sure if that's going to be the RAM or the CPU or what. My initial thought is the RAM, because it's not clipping in fully. So that's just revived the battery. Let's try that in this RAM slot here. It's still happening with the RAM in the other side. And did you hear that beep? That's detecting that the charger has been unplugged. And from what I can work out there, it says no bootable device. Now, is that the screen? Or is it the laptop or the CPU? I've got a feeling that the laptop's been dropped. Okay, we are getting 2 amps of current draw now. However, for some reason, oh, hold on. When it's on its side, the display is staying on and normal. Okay, that's strange. Because now it's staying on. What? Is that a loose ribbon in the screen then? Okay, that's a possibility. So let's look into the screen, because there is a possibility that it's got a screen issue. Let's see if it wants to turn on its own now. It did have a charge for a bit longer. Is that turning on? Nope, it's not turning on. I had a notification on my phone and I thought it was that. So it looks like the battery goes into sleep mode when it gets unplugged. That might be normal. Let's ground that over there somewhere. It might be normal for it to go into a sleep mode when it gets unplugged. I don't know. Like I said, whoops, I touched ground with the positive lead. That won't hurt nothing. Like I said, I'm not an expert, especially when it comes to laptops. Are we going to get that glitching? No, we are not. I think that was just something loose on the screen cable. We are getting 2.1 amps, so I'm just going to sit here and hold this for, 5 minutes or so, just to see if I can get some charge into the battery and just see if it wants to start dropping the current draw. If it starts dropping the current draw, then I know the battery's taking a charge, and that way then I can figure out if the battery is actually working or if it's just that the fact that the laptop is powered on. But when I do lose that battery, or rather when I do disconnect power, it does stay on for a little while. So the battery is holding some charge, at least. So it's not completely dead. Okay, current is dropping. So that means, basically the way it works is, if you're charging a battery, it will draw as much current as it needs. I've got my bench power supply set uncapped. It could potentially draw 5 amps if it really needed to. But as it starts to gain a little bit of charge, current will drop. I was initially on 2.145 amps, and it's dropped down to 2.137. So it is taking a charge, and it's obviously adjusting the power supply as it needs to. It's drawing the current it needs, and it won't always draw the maximum current. It's just basically, that's it, that's all it needs, because it's got some charge in it. So I think this battery is very dead and needs a very good charge, especially given the fact that the rating on the bottom of the case says 2.37 amps. And this is pretty close to that. This is 2.135, so it's pretty close to maximum rating of the charger. So obviously the charger is not going to run at full load all of the time. That would be pretty dangerous. It would get rather hot and potentially catch fire. So that would always slightly overrate the charger to prevent fires. So I've got a feeling that it's drawing a normal amount of current for a battery that is completely dead. And we are down to 2.134 amps right now at 19 volts. I'm going to try and just permanently probe this, just so I don't have to keep holding it. Okay, so that's just detected that it's been unplugged. That's detected it's been replugged in, 2.134 amps. That is fine. I'm going to leave that for half an hour. I'm going to pause the video, leave it for half an hour, see how much charge it's going in then. Right we are. So it's been about 20 minutes or so, and we're currently on 2.12 amps of current. So it's definitely dropped. And the battery isn't even warm, so I'm not worried that the battery is actually faulty. I think it was just in some sort of a deep sleep mode, and it needed a signal from the motherboard to actually activate properly. Maybe the seller wasn't using the right charger, I'm not sure. But either way, that seems to be charging. Let's see what's going on with the screen now. Okay, that appears fine. It does appear as though that screen is a little bit bent though. Like, there's a little bit of flex on the bottom of the screen here that I'm not a big fan of. But I think someone's probably dropped this for definite. So what I'm going to do, for the sake of this video, I'm going to put the 8GB of RAM in it. I'm going to leave this in there because at least then it can still be used. I'm going to just do a quick service on the fan and the thermal compound before I go any further. So I'm going to just remove the heatsink here. I'd love to know what GPU would fit here. Okay, so that's actually had a repaste. Interesting. That's recently had a repaste. I'll do it anyway. But that thermal paste is still wet. So, yeah, I'm not sure how long it's been, but that's rather wet still. And it looks like MX4 as well, judging by the colour. I'm just going to clean this up. So once I've disturbed it, I've got to clean it anyway. And it is indeed a AMD Ryzen. There we go. So that's nice and clean. Let's put some fresh MX4 paste on. That's all we need. And then I'm just going to grab a toothbrush and just give this fan a little bit of a scrub. Not over the laptop though. So all I'm going to be doing is just scrubbing it around the blades, just to basically give it a clean out. I'm also just going to clean out around here as well. There we go, that's nice and clean, inside and out. Beautiful. So that should keep it nice and cool, which is cool. There we go. Beautiful. So I can't remember if I've actually mentioned this, but I've been looking at some bases as well. So this corner is obviously cracked. I'm not going to fix that now. I am actually going to buy one as a replacement, and I'll do a follow-up to this video. I'm going to buy one as a replacement, and I'm also going to get a M.2 drive as well. I do have a 500GB M.2 drive, which I can pop into here. That's on the computer I'm using to film this video, though. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to transfer everything over to my 1TB drive, put that one into my computer, and then I can put the 512GB into this laptop. It does appear as though it's never been used, so I'd have to find a screw as well. There's no screw there. And also I'm going to need to buy some replacement screws as well, I think, for the hard drive. So I'll have to find some laptop screws. Or laptop hard drive screws rather. So let's just plug in the fan. There we go. So let's get this 250GB SSD. Let's pop that in there. And that actually holds in kind of tightly, so probably wouldn't need screws, but I will try and source some. But like I said, I'm probably just going to give this to one of my kids, to be honest with you, because they're not worth that much. I've just been looking on eBay. They're worth around about 150 to 200 pound, depending on the exact spec. So they do come with different specs, like some will come with the Ryzen 5, Ryzen 7. They'll probably make an Intel version as well with a different model number. So yeah, I'm probably going to just give this to one of my kids to use just as a daily driver. And I'm not even going to screw everything down for now, because I'm going to have to take it back apart. So I'm just going to secure in some things, like put the corner screws in, the hinge screws, and then I'm just going to leave it at that for now. Okay, so here we are then. I've got the USB bootable drive just here. I'm going to pop that in there. There we go. USB port seems to be working. So let's Ctrl Alt Delete it. And let's see if it picks up a bootable drive. And it does. Fantastic. So yeah, the screen's not in the greatest condition, but you know, it's all good. So that is booting into Windows 10's installation now. So other than that flickering screen, it seems to be fine. Keyboard appears to be working, mouse appears to be working. So I'm going to run through setup and get this installed. Oh. Ah. It has a dodgy cable. That flickered then. Alright, well let's just install Windows first before we go any further. So that does have a dodgy cable. Oh, what's happened there? That's a bit of a bug. Shouldn't let me try and install that twice. And it picks up the hard drive. Good. Let's delete the partition. Click next and let's let that run. Okay, so it does have a little bit of a dodgy ribbon cable there. So when I moved it, maybe someone thought it was one of those switch things, you know, the touchscreen. So it's not a issue with the ribbon in the hinges. That opens quite wide as well. Interesting. Alright, well, I'm going to let that run through the installation. It won't take that long. So I'll let it run through. I'll make sure everything works. And then I'm going to order some parts. I don't think I'm going to fix that ribbon cable until the next video, because I've got to strip it all down anyway, which means I've got to take the motherboard out. So I can inspect that flex cable for the LCD when I actually need to. I think that's probably going to be the best thing to do. While that's running, I'm just going to quickly look on eBay and see if I can find an LVDS cable, just in case I need to buy one. And it doesn't appear as though there's any available, so I would have to repair it by the look of it. I'm not seeing any on eBay when I search for the model number. So I would probably have to basically just get one repaired, or get this one repaired rather. So it does seem to be holding a charge now, so that's a good thing. Okay, that's restarting, so let's just allow that. There we go. And that is all we need from that USB. It should be fairly quick as well, because it does have a SSD. There we go. Kaboom. Okay, that's just rebooting. It does seem to be holding a charge. I don't know how much charge it's got left. There we go. So all I need to do is just really quickly make sure that it connects to the internet, make sure that the keyboard works, and that's pretty much it, really, in terms of knowing whether I should buy the replacement parts or not. For some reason it is coming up that it's changing the volume. I'm not sure why that is.
Hi there.
Hi.
I'm Cortana, and I'm here to help.
Go away. Okay, we've got a button stuck. It's going to be F11. Okay, well, just tapping it once fixed it. Cool. This is easy. Laptops are easy. Okay, we're going to skip adding a second layout. The touchpad's a little bit spongy, but I haven't screwed it all down. Okay, some of the keys are not working as they should. Yeah, so the keyboard isn't working correctly. M is coming up as U, but it is picking up Wi-Fi, so I think it needs a replacement keyboard, so that's going to come with that replacement base anyway, so yeah, I'm not bothered. I'm really not, because that appears to be booting absolutely fine. I do just want to really quickly just try and check the specs on it to make sure it's reading everything correctly. So I'll just go into this PC, right click it, and just make sure it's reading properly. I think the battery just died. I think the battery just died. Just as it finished installing. Well, that's rather annoying, isn't it? Well, at least it stayed on for the installation, and it doesn't make much of a difference because I'm going to be using it with an M.2. So I think that just about wraps this up. Yeah, that's pretty funny, to be honest. The battery dying literally right as it was finishing installing. But, yeah, I mean, there's definitely an issue with that LVDS cable, which I think I'm going to sort out on the next video. This one is going on a little bit too long for my liking. I did want this to be a nice and short video. But the laptop is turning on now. The glitching issue does appear to be an issue with that cable, so I will sort that out on the next video. The keyboard doesn't appear to be working properly, but I am going to replace that top palm rest anyway, so I'm going to get that ordered. And also I need to order a charger so I can actually charge it. And yeah, all in all it's going to cost me around about £100–120 for what's potentially going to be a £200 laptop, which I can give to the kids. So not a bad deal, not the greatest deal in the world, but not a bad deal. And the main thing is that we're going to save this from ending up on the scrap pile. And hopefully in the next video I will get this fully working, and hopefully we can get it restored and into a usable condition. So it's not a complete fix for now, but it is sort of a fix. And yeah, it turns out that it's not a bad boy. It does appear to be drop damage, as I originally suspected, based on that bend that seems to be in the top frame. I will look and see if I can find a replacement top frame, maybe, just to see if I can do anything about that. But I don't really want to be spending too much more money, because it's going to start to get costly if I start to replace, you know, the top frame as well. So yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you do have any comments or questions, leave them down in the comment section down below. I'll always do my best to answer. And if you do want to organise a repair, then you can do so by going in touch using the website in the video description. You can book in the repair and then I'll happily try and help you out. If you do want to support me on these little endeavours, then number one, make sure you get subscribed. There is going to be a part 2 to this. So make sure you get subscribed and turn on the bell notifications. That way you don't miss any future videos. And also, if you want to support me financially, you can head over to Twitch and become a Twitch Prime subscriber. You can head over to Twitch, link your Twitch Prime account and subscribe that way. And as I said earlier on in the video, it doesn't cost you anything, but it does help me out. And it does give me around about $2.50 every month for everyone who does it. So with that being said, that is going to be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, I'll see you later. Bye for now.